Hey, it's Jake Jones, and I'm here to review Cry Macho, the new Clint Eastwood movie directed by Clint Eastwood. It's so dumb, and I get that he's a legend, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go easy on it. I mean, this dude looks like a scarecrow. His muscles are completely deteriorated. He looks like Jane Fonda on a horse. He does everything in this movie that he should not be doing at his age and physical condition. He does everything but shoot somebody. He gets into fist fights. Every female character in this movie is trying to bang him. This old bag of bones, this fucking fossil excavation project, and Clint's basically like, I can't even get it up, you stupid wench. And get this, he plays a rodeo cowboy. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, you see the premise, how it could have been turned on its head to be something like humorous or ironic, but this guy is this side of dead, and he's a recently retired rodeo bull rider, and we're to believe that this guy's riding bulls and getting into fist fights with 20 somethings who look like they're ready to kill him, and he can barely handle a stiff breeze. I was like, there are scenes where Clint Eastwood's just walking around town. He's wandering, waddling, and I was genuinely worried he was going to get blown away like a stalk of wheat. He looks like one of those balloons outside used car lots. Just. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. I mean, this guy's unfit to lift a bag of dirt. You're telling me he's riding bulls? He would shatter his pelvis just from riding it, let alone falling off. And the fight scenes in this movie, Jesus Christ. He does that one old man punch that looks like he's yelling at a cloud. And I'm like, oh God, Clint, why? What are you doing? But see, that's the least of this movie's problems. I could have forgiven all of that if there was a good script here. And you know, maybe some good supporting actors. But just the logic of the movie is that this employer or former employer was going to take Clint Eastwood on as a liability for his bull riding show. And what low-level sadist would hire him for that gig? But the movie supplies our answer in the first scene. A very exposition-heavy intro where his former boss enlists him, and he's like, hey, and this is how you know the movie makes no sense. He goes, hey, I need you to go to Mexico to find my long-lost son and bring him back. And this kid is the worst actor I've ever seen. I think maybe one of the worst child performances I've ever watched. He's like the Latino equivalent of the, well, gee whiz, white kids that you would see in Disney movies. But he has a backstory of like, I'm from the streets of Juarez, and then with the Spanish guitar playing over a campfire, and like every time this kid talks, I just want Clint Eastwood to be like, I'm crashing this bitch. He's fucking. Most of the scenes in this movie are Clint Eastwood driving, and the kid is like, have you seen my cock, Macho? Oh my God, bro. Isn't he magnifico? I'm like, oh my God, just crash the fucking car, like, end this movie. Maybe you should have done a few more takes on that, Clint. But he doesn't have it in him. And this is where I think he should either just act or just direct. I'm not telling him what to do. I love his style of filmmaking. I mean, my album's literally called Take One. And that's inspired by Clint Eastwood's method of filmmaking, where he only does one take per scene, and that only works though if you're dealing with trained professionals. But when he's with these new actors, like I remember watching Gran Torino, and Clint's good in that. It's one of his best acting roles, I think, at least in recent years. And he's really understated in the movie. But everyone else in that film looks like they're reading off cue cards. It's bizarre. And you have the same exact problem here, twice as bad as that. And it's not what you expect. I'll say that much. I did like some scenes in it. I like the scenes in which Clint Eastwood and the Chicano boy are sitting by the campfire, and then it goes off the rails. There are moments of reflection, but then it turns into a cartoon, and not a good one at that. Like, this is something that you would fall asleep to in the nursing home. Like there's there's a ton of this. The basic rhythm of the movie is that Clint Eastwood loses his car. They lose like 3 cars in this movie, and then they stop in a rural Mexican village, and Eastwood suddenly knows how to heal animals, and he spends like 30 minutes petting horses. I'm not even kidding. And it goes on for so long. I'm like, did he just forget that he has a mission? Like, are you on vacation? Like, your car, your car works. Like, why are you just fucking around in the village? Like does this guy have Alzheimer's? This fucking Joe Biden on a horse, man. And I was legitimately concerned. You want to see Clint Eastwood, if he's this old, he should be doing like, easy roles where he sits down, where he has, a good performance wise. But this physical shit, like, it makes me worry about him filming this. I genuinely don't want him to get hurt. What's next? Jackie Chan climbs a ladder to change a light bulb? Who is this movie for? If he was anyone but Clint Eastwood, I would be a lot tougher on this movie. It stinks. It's like the whole movie's like, the fucking Mexican kid's like, bro, have you seen my cock? It's so huge, like, wow. And Clint's like, oh, meal. It's like, okay. And then he's like, oh, let's go over here. And he waddles over there. And that's the whole fucking movie. And, it gets sentimental towards the end as well. The first half is actually interesting because even though it's clearly flawed and a lot of it doesn't make any sense, like, how did he find this kid? There's no way he could be dodging fucking cartel mobsters the way he does. This is real softball shit, considering the subject matter. And the movie could have played that for laughs, but it chooses to play it straight. And I think that's a huge mistake. If you're going to be a cartoon, then go all out. But if you're trying to be this reflective, like, Eastwood style, westerny type of drama, then you got to commit to that. Like, you can't have these insane Deus Ex Machina moments where just like shit just happens because it has to happen in order to move the plot forward. There's no that just feels cheap, and none of the emotions in this movie are earned. And the rooster is actually the best part of the movie, strangely enough. So yeah, it's nice to see Clint on screen again, but really, wouldn't you rather just watch a fucking interview with the guy? I don't want to see him pretend to throw a fist. A stupid old man beats the shit out of young guy trope. They actually had the balls to do that in this movie. And Clint Eastwood's a director, so, what is he going to do? Tell him no? I think Clint Eastwood, the director, should have told Clint Eastwood, the actor, hey, buddy, no one with half a brain is going to buy this. And had they gone in that direction, I think it would have made for a much more interesting film instead of this Mexican soap opera bullcrap. Cute concept, poor execution, And I find it somewhat amusing that every film that Clint Eastwood makes, we assume it's going to be his last. So I just really hope this isn't his last one, because that would be a stain on an otherwise almost flawless career in terms of both acting and directing. I haven't seen all of his films, and I know he made some stinkers here and there, and this is definitely one of them. But we all really want him to keep doing good movies. The Mule was good. It was decent. It had a charm to it, and I felt like everything that movie succeeded at, this movie fails at. The whole like, oh, I'm an old bachelor and I still got it. Oh, I'm a I'm in a dark world, but I'm the voice of reason, and I'm a moral beacon, and that's what Clint Eastwood represents. That's just who the guy fucking is, and that's why he is a legend. So unfortunately, though, this movie fails to give off any semblance of that star power. I mean, he's got. It's good to see him, but at this point, it's hard to see him as anything in this role as anything but an old man. So, do you agree with my scalding hot take? What do you think about the film? Do you think I'm an asshole? Let me know in the comments. And as always, smash that sub button like you're on a game show.